Hello everybody and welcome back. Today we're going to be making some brisket beans. Now if that sounds simple, it's because it is, and it is a fantastic use for leftover brisket, which I know is a rarity, but it does happen. I had some leftover brisket which I vacuum sealed and froze, and today we're going to use that with 2 pounds of pinto beans in my slow cooker. Now these pinto beans have been rinsed and then they were soaked overnight. Now you rinse them to get off any loose pieces of shell or any rocks or anything that were in the bag. And then soaking them overnight helps to soften them to begin that process that's going to finish in the slow cooker. So let's get the rest of our ingredients in here. I'm going to start with 1 jalapeno, sort of a medium jalapeno that I've sliced and removed most of the seeds from. If a few seeds make their way in, it's not the end of the world. I've got half of a medium shallot that's been chopped up, a medium yellow onion that I've chopped up, a medium red bell pepper that I've chopped up. I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of kosher salt. Now I'm going to add my brisket. This is about 2 pounds. It's mostly flat, a little bit of point. And we're going with a full house today here. And I'm going to add 20 ounces of BBQ sauce. Just pick your favorite barbecue sauce. Let me get down in here and mix everything. We are going to be adding some more liquid here, and liquid will come off of these ingredients too as they cook. Now I'm going to add some vegetable stock. You could use beef stock if you want, or just water. And I'm just going to add enough until the liquid starts to come up to where the beans are near the top. So I'm going to press these down a little bit. Give it a little push here before we add more. You can just start to see the liquid there, but we are going to add a little bit more. And there we can just see the liquid coming up to the top. And we may have to add some more liquid a little bit later as we monitor this to see how those beans are absorbing all this moisture. All right, my slow cooker is set on high. It's going to go on high for 3 hours. Then we're going to switch it over to low. And low, it's probably going to go anywhere between 5 and 7 hours. It really just matters on how tender the beans are. That's what tells you when this is done. So let's get the lid on and let this get cooking. See you back here in a few hours. So we've been going 3 hours now on high. So let's take a look at our beans, see how they're doing, see if we need to add any more liquid, and just kind of give it a general check. Looking good. Now one thing to do, and it's way early, is if you take these beans and you press against the side, you will feel that they are nowhere near tender yet. And that's totally expected at this time in the cook. We've still got several hours to go, probably 5, 6, 7 hours on low. So we're just gonna let this keep going, let these keep tenderizing, let all the flavors come together. Now in about 3 hours, we're gonna come back and we're gonna take a taste and see if we need to adjust seasoning with some salt or some pepper or anything. But right now, we're just gonna let this keep going. So I'm going to turn this down to low and we're just going to let this go, and I'll see you back here in 3 hours when we give it a check. All right, we are at the 6-hour mark now. 3 hours on high, 3 hours on low. I know it's not going to be done yet, but I do want to check, and this is where we're going to adjust for seasoning. So let's go ahead, have a taste. First, let's go ahead and give this a stir. And I can already feel the beans are softer in here. It's as you move the spoon through them, you're not hearing that sort of click of harder beans. And if you press one up against the side here, you can smash it, but it still has structure. We want it more tender. But we'll take a taste, and we're going to get a taste of the broth in here. First, let's get a taste of that broth. Ooh, that is nice. No salt, no pepper, but you know what? I think I'm going to add a little more barbecue sauce because I want to bring a little bit more of that barbecue flavor. But first, let's taste the beans. Get a fresh spoon here. Let's just see how tender they are. They're getting there, but I imagine this probably has at least another 3 hours to go, probably in the 3 to 4 hour range. I'm going to add maybe another 6 or 8 ounces of barbecue sauce. Give that a stir. And whenever I make beans in the slow cooker, I get a lot of questions about, well, why didn't you just do them out on the grill? I've done videos making beans out on the grill, smoking them, getting some of that smoke flavor, but we've already got the brisket that's going to bring that smoke flavor to this. And in all honesty, this is much easier. Put it in the morning. You could even leave this on low for like 10 or 12 hours and it'd be fine. You wouldn't even have to change it, but this is just such an easier way to make these and to bring all this flavor over a slower amount of time. I just like doing it this way sometimes. And now one thing I'm going to do, which is totally not necessary, is I just want to see how hot it is in there. And I'm just going to use my temp probe. Let's get down there in the center. You can see right there, we've just added barbecue sauce, so it's a little bit cool. So that's 173. I'm imagining it was about 20 degrees higher than that before we added that cold barbecue sauce. So up in the 190s, and that's about what I'd expect for a slow cooker. You do see we have some bubbling going on here, so we have enough temperature for simmering. That's great. All right, let's get the lid back on, and we're gonna come back in 3 hours and check it and see how close we are to being done. See you back here in a few hours. All right, we have been going 9 hours total in the slow cooker, 3 on high, 6 on low. Let's see how we're doing. Oh, those are feeling really good against the spoon. No clicking or clacking. Let's get a taste, see if they're tender. Absolutely tender. Now, that doesn't mean at 9 hours they're going to be tender for you. Every slow cooker is different. You've got to take it to when they're tender, when they're cooked as done as you like it. So they're soft. There's not that bite when you bite into them. There's no resistance. This is ready. Let's go ahead and plate some up. So I have some roasted potatoes and carrots here on my plate because this can almost be like a stew, except you really run out of room in slow cookers. So putting our brisket beans on top here really sort of recreates that stew effect. This smells so good. All right, I'm going in. I'm gonna get a little bit of brisket, some beans. I'll worry about the carrots and potatoes later. Here we go. This is such a perfect use for any leftover brisket, as rare as that may be, or chuck roast, anything like that that you can just chop up, add to some great beans, add your own flavors with your own barbecue sauce you like, any ingredients. You can heat it up even more by adding more jalapenos or peppers that are even hotter if you want, but for me, this is exactly the way I wanted it.